Every morning the world starts quietly, one soft light at a time. Homes flicker awake, shops open. People take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing, a spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
Good morning, everyone. As I adjust my angulation on my mic, I hope everyone is hearing me. Good morning. Welcome to Kindness Rising, your morning dose of hope, humanity, and heart, where we get up in the morning with a little less rage bait and a few more high fives. High fives for everyone. All right. Let's get it going. Who's out there this morning? Good morning. Welcome to Kindness Rising as we get going here on another loop, another week of shows, of programs. Of course, high five, Sully. What's up? Good morning, Mike Sullivan. I am so glad you are here. I see there are others out there. Get involved in the chat. Welcome to Kindness Rising. We come here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, to get you up with hope, humanity, and heart. And this week, we are talking about your perspective. Have you ever noticed how small problems can just feel huge until something shifts in your perspective? A difficult email, a tense conversation, headlines are killing us on a daily basis. It feels like frustrating. Everything can feel immediate, important, and urgent until you zoom out. And then suddenly that story changes. This week on Kindness Rising, we are exploring perspective, because sometimes clarity doesn't come from working harder. It just comes from taking a step back. Take a step back. Come on in and welcome to Kindness Rising here on the Mornings in the Lab Network. Good morning, Roseanne. Good morning, Mike Sullivan. Good morning to all my friends out there on YouTube and LinkedIn. Get involved in the chat. Say hello. Welcome in as we explore perspective. What it feels like to step back for a second when things are getting a little bit overwhelming. Have you been feeling overwhelmed lately, or something gotten to you? What do you do? How do you take a step back? Good morning, Thonda92. I am glad you are here. Welcome to Kindness Rising. We're here every weekday morning talking about positivity, less rage bait, more high fives for humanity. And today we are focusing on perspective, driven by the story. So the astronauts are back. The crew of Artemis II has returned to the Earth, and they were the first humans who traveled around the moon, or even near the moon, in 50 years. And over the course of their 10-day mission, 250,000 miles from home, further than any humans have flown since the Apollo era. But what's important is, what did we learn? And when astronauts come back from journeys like this, not only do they bring back all the science that they bring back, they also bring back a perspective. Turn the tunes down a little bit. I feel like it's a little loud. They bring back their perspective, right? They don't talk about how fast they were going. They don't talk about the warp speed or the records or the engineering behind the toilets and everything else that eventually they talk about. You guys follow the jam there about the toilets. They had a toilet problem, but they had a plumber. One of them is responsible for plumbing. Got to be responsible for all those systems. Anyway, seeing Earth from a distance, that changes how many of the astronauts claim and think about the world. They think about conflict, think about urgency, and about what actually matters. From space, borders, they disappear, political parties, evolved to nothing. Social media arguments, morning shows, whatever. It's all just one fragile, interconnected system that they can see moving quietly through the darkness, the pale blue dot, right? Carl Sagan and the pale blue dot. Absolutely something we talk about on the regular here, moving quietly through that darkness. And it's actually described. It's actually described by the psychologists, people who studied in NASA are studying the effect of astronauts. That's called the overview effect. It's the cognitive shift that happened where division starts to feel less important and connection feels more obvious. And that brings me to my connection, a connection that I always make every time we talk about space. You guys all know that I love the Grateful Dead. And it's something that's been really important to me in my life. And there's always connection to that. And they have a song. It's called Throwing Stones. Check it out if you got a chance. It's called Throwing Stones. And it starts with this line. Picture a bright blue ball spinning free, dizzy with eternity. From space, Earth looks calm, unified, peaceful. But later in the song, that perspective shifts. It goes like this, the lyrics. A peaceful place, or so it looks from space, but a closer look reveals the human race. Full of hope, full of grace is the human face, but I'm afraid we'll lay our home to waste. That's their peace message. That actually came up in the 80s. That was during the nuclear arms race that song was written. The idea that we are just on this bright blue ball spinning free in the cosmos. And it's only when you zoom in closer that you see the human race, the human face that's full of hope and grace. But there's power in the world that we can absolutely. Fubar 2XRP, Thonda 92, thank you. Ripple, that's a nice one. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's my Grateful Dead connection for today. I'm going to make a few of them this week. I decided to bring it back, not get too crazy about it, but just enough so that we understand why I connect so much to the Dead and to lyrics from that era, from that time. Good morning, Holroyd. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much, Adam, for joining when you do. I appreciate it. Absolutely. So this idea that distance reveals something really important, and that from far away, we still know that challenge exists, but we also see the context. We see the connection. We see how one small moment can be, how it fits into that larger story, right? Good morning. Mornings in the lab. Keith Billis, good morning. Glad you're here. We're talking about perspective, the larger story, the connections, the context that come with perspective as the astronauts returned from the moon, connecting it back to the Grateful Dead 2 with their song, Throwing Stones, picturing a bright blue ball spinning free, and seeing how one small moment within a larger story that doesn't eliminate the problems, but how often it changes how we approach them when we take that step back. Clarity can begin with a little bit of distance. Glad you're all here. It's good to have the crew. Thonda 92, Fubar 2XRP, we're bringing in the Ripple, Sully out there on the West Coast, Roseanne, Keith, Holroyd. This is why I'm here. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you all. Even as I take a sip of, it's actually iced tea today. I think I told you guys about this before, made iced tea with a mix of plain old black tea, a hint of Madagascar vanilla tea, with Celestial Seasonings, Madagascar vanilla. Perfect. It's a nice little treat. Alternative to coffee. To me, it's more refreshing than coffee. Coffee dries me out too. If I drink too much of it, I love it, but it dries me out. Anyway, thanks for sticking through my rambling and my suggestions on recipes for delicious iced tea. to refresh at 7:30 in the morning Eastern, right here on Kindness Rising, where we show up every weekday. And I hope you continue to show up too. Subscribe to the channel. If you're watching after the fact, you're missing out. Come join us live at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on Mornings in the Lab Network, where we get started right here at 7:30 with Kindness Rising, then get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. As part of the Mornings in the Lab Network, we are getting ready to launch What the Truck, our show with our veterans friends. We are excited about that. Check that out. It starts with Joy, Cheryl, Raphael Whitaker, the Jason Hewlett Experience, Jason Hewlett show here on Kindness Rising and on Kindness Rising. Talking about it on Kindness Rising, but we're talking about here on the Mornings in the Lab Network for sure. All right. So how about our Be Kind Rewind? I promised I would bring these back too. I appreciate people who are giving me feedbacks on stuff they like the Be Kind Rewind, where we take a look back on our Gen X lives and make connections to the subject that we're talking about. Our Kindness Spotlight, which I've brought forward for sure. We like to talk about organizations that are out there doing good work in the world as our mission continues here to multiply kindness and amplify growth for good work, or for good people doing good work. Absolutely. Here, as that's the reason I exist, one of the reasons I exist, and to connect here in the community. Let's do our rewind, and we're going to take it back. Taking it back, I guess it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 54 years. I might know that because it's 1972, the year of my birth, Apollo 17. Apollo 17 in 1972, they capture one of the most reproduced images in human history. Earth fully illuminated by the sun, floating in darkness. And for the first time, humanity could clearly see how we are all just one connected system. No borders, no political parties, no hashtags, just our home floating out there in the cosmos, along with who the hell knows what else. Just a little bit of perspective. And then in 1990, coming back around 18 years later, NASA's Voyager 1, billions of miles away, at the request of one of my favorite voices, just from my past and from my life. I just love his voice, the sound of his voice and his ideas. Carl Sagan, the astronomer from Cornell University, right up the road from where I'm at here, he suggested, Voyager, when you get about 1 billion miles away, turn around and take a pic. See what you can get. And the spacecraft captured what became known as the pale blue dot. Earth appears like a tiny little speck, less than a pixel in the picture, suspended in a beam of sunlight. Here's what Sagan says when he shows it. Look at that dot. That's here, that's home, and that's us. Every argument, every triumph, every worry, every breakthrough, and every act of kindness is happening on that little tiny fraction of a pixel way out in the distance. I know I feel humbled when I look at or think about that perspective, for sure, happening on this little tiny pale blue dot floating out there. Remembering the photographs that the astronauts were sending us back, right? Those moments, just taking a look and thinking about them for just a second, to be humbled, to be grounded. We're all just floating out here on this ball. It's not a disc, it's not flat, it is a ball. But we're all just out there. And that's why kindness matters so much, because we're all just floating together and trying to figure this stuff out for sure. Absolutely. We are flying through today on a Monday morning here on Kindness Rising. I am glad that you all who are here have joined. Honestly, I'm looking for my spotlight. You think I have this stuff just in my head, but I actually have notes. This is part of what I have, and actually it's part of what we're working on. Can you guys hear that music? I cannot hear it. Part of what we're working on here at the Mornings in the Lab is building our system, our conversation OS system, the neural network of why we exist and what Keith is building and what the team at Mornings in the Lab is building for you and for us. Conversation OS, the actual framework, like I said, the neural network, software, connection to bring all the information to the forefront and make your show easy to produce, contemporary, exciting, engaging, entertaining, that leverages your experience and your expertise and builds your authenticity, your authority, and trust, all built into a single place. So you don't have the buttons the way I have the buttons. So you have the help of the production team here at Mornings in the Lab. So new stuff happening all the time. And then make constant improvements in our productions. All right. So Throwing Stones, I'm going back to that Grateful Dead. Throwing Stones, picture of bright blue balls spinning free. Closer look reveals the human race, full of hope, full of grace is the human face. But afraid we may lay our home to waste. My cool life experience connected to that song. I'm just filling time with life stories here. I had the blessing, the honor of being present at an inauguration. I know thousands of people, tens of thousands of people go to them. But 1996, this would have been Clinton's second inauguration on the Mall there in Washington, D.C. And it was a party. It was a celebration for sure. And Bobby Weir from the Grateful Dead. It was about a year after Jerry Garcia died. Bob Weir doesn't show up. I'm sure he was scheduled. He's in attendance. But it wasn't a huge announced show, but then the word got out that he was going to be playing. He's going to be playing on the Mall in Washington, D.C. So my buddy Cliff and I go like, let's go check it out. I don't believe it. And what do you know? There you go. We got down there, and he and another artist, Ricky Lee Jones. You may remember Ricky Lee Jones from her song Chucky's in Love. All right, I'm singing now again. That's when you know I'm feeling time, when I start singing. Anyway, Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead and Ricky Lee Jones. And they could have chosen any song to sing, anything they wanted to. They sang a few of them, but this was one of them, Throwing Stones, and I thought that was pretty appropriate. If you actually listen even deeper into the lyrics, as a matter of fact, it might be considered a little scathing, like saying, this is our chance. We've got a chance. The kids, they dance and shake their bones while the politicians are throwing stones. That's the lyric. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. It was definitely a memorable moment for me in my life to be there at the inauguration. That was definitely one of the blessings that I had, one of the honors that I had living in DC when I did in the 90s. Most of the 90s I spent in Washington DC area, and got to participate in that, which was a pretty cool thing. Absolutely, just a life experience. And then, who would have thunk it? 2 years later, 1998, that same man who was listening to Bob Weir and Ricky Lee Jones on the phone, William Jefferson Clinton, doesn't walk into my establishment. First, the Secret Service shows up, does a little walkthrough. We're like, those guys with the microphones in their ears, somebody's coming in here. What do we know? And next thing you know, there he comes. President Clinton came into the coffee house at the bottom of the bookstore that I was working at. He actually worked. He actually came into the bookstore, bought the autobiography of Thomas Jefferson, the autobiography of Thomas Jefferson, and then he came down to the coffee shop and he got a chocolate chip cookie. Random. President Clinton's chocolate chip cookie and autobiography of Thomas Jefferson, side trip to Politics and Prose on Connecticut Avenue in Washington, D.C. And that's a story from my life. Anyway. And that's what the kind of stuff you get to talk about when you go live. When you go live here on the Mornings in the Lab Network, you get to talk about serving President Clinton a cookie in a bookstore basement in the 90s. Because when you go live, sometimes things just pop into your head and you have perspective and you want to just connect and share your stories and fill time and have conversation. And that's my conversation starter at 7:53 a.m. Have you ever served a chocolate chip cookie to a sitting president? I have. No. What else? No, it's about perspective. That's what we're really talking about when you go live. It's perspective. Because perspective develops about you when you show your conversation and you show your observable thinking. And you have dialogue that's unfolding in real time in the chat and perhaps with guests. Not perfect, not polished, but real, because perspective grows when thinking is visible, right? When people are able to see and hear your thinking, your perspective grows, their perspective grows. And I don't know. Trying to think, I had a really poignant thought there for just a moment, and then it went away. It'll come back. In the meantime, maybe it won't come back, but what we can do is we can move on to the other thing that we like to do here on Kindness Rising every single day. Is our kindness compass. This is something for you to take away with you as we think about things this week, today, every day, on our perspective week and today's perspective. The kindness compass, your takeaways for today. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, in a month, in a year? Time always creates clarity. So if you can give yourself the luxury of remembering the time will clear things, it could make things clearer for you, that is a helpful pointer. Ask yourself, will it really matter? Zoom out intentionally. Write your problem down and imagine looking at it. Imagine just step back. Imagine you're floating up there on Artemis II, looking down on your problem. Not to disengage, but just to choose where to place your energy within that little tangled up not of a mess, because calm is going to create better action for you. So zoom back with intention. Write the problem down, see what still feels important, and remind yourself, will this matter in a week? Will it matter in a month? Will it matter in a year? As my buddy Jerry Seinfeld says, 100 years, all new people. No big deal. Not going to matter a bit. And that frees you up. Hopefully it's going to be training for you and others. But thank you for choosing to come here to Kindness Rising, as I do, 7:30 a.m. Eastern every weekday morning, every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern on the Mornings in the Lab Network, to get us up a little less rage bait, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit of focus, and more high lives for humanity. Thanks again for joining me. All right. Well, I can't believe we are winding down. We are going to be talking about perspective. We're going to talk about perspective all week long from different angles. I'm going to be bringing into this more ideas about space and about traveling through space, more ideas about perspective within our relationships, perspective at work, perspective at problems, the zoom out and the zoom in effect of life that can, at least it's proven for me. I'm no expert. I don't claim to have expertise. Only actually, I don't have expertise in this. I have expertise in other areas, but I do not have expertise in this. I only have my experience, and I know when I'm feeling very tied up, right in those knots inside, if I can take a breath and pull myself out of it and have a little bit of perspective, the challenge in front of me doesn't feel quite so large because I'm standing so close to it. Remember, distance is going to do something powerful. It's going to remind us we're just part of something bigger. We're all part of the system. And when we see the bigger picture, we can often find better ways forward for ourselves. Absolutely. That's what we're all working on. Remember, on this small blue dot, how we treat each other is the story that matters most. So come on back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, here on Kindness Rising. Now get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends over there on their network. They're going to get started at 8 a.m. and it's going to be another week, another loop of good times here where we talk about perspective. They're going to be talking about all those kinds of things over at Kindness Rise or at Mornings in the Lab. On Tuesday, Brianna will be there talking about relationships, Brianna Bass. And on Wednesday, you're going to see show Raphael Whitaker. It starts with joy. And on Friday, you're going to have the no bullshit guy, no shit bullshit professor, John Petrocelli. Dr. John, check him out Friday mornings on Mornings in the Lab. But I'm going to go do my thing and get over there. And I will see you over there. And I will see you back here. Subscribe to the channel. Have a great day. And until tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, stay uncommon and stay kind. What if your mornings could be inspiring and ridiculously fun?
Kindness Rising isn't just a show, it's a full wake-up vibe.
It's freaking fun, people.
Yeah, man, it's got real get-after-it energy.
I love it.
Wake up with Kindness Rising.
I help purpose-driven people grow their impact. 5-ingredient recipe to help you build your personal brand. Get out there and take kind action.
If it's live, they'll feel it.
On Kindness Rising, we bring you proven strategies and fresh ideas you can actually use. If you're not failing, you're not trying.
Exactly. Fail fast, rebound faster.
You'll see the bloopers and the genuine connections that make kindness contagious. We sometimes get into a little bit of trouble.
Pretty much my life made the list.
You can trust what you see right here is honest, respectful, and uplifting. Social impact organizations, and we always talk about them. Try kindness. It's way cheaper than therapy. You just made my day.